This video will address the client and server configuration that allow LSP Scheduler to communicate properly with the LightShow Pro server, which is running as a service. Let's select the client configuration first. The Configure Settings menu item is used to configure the client side of the scheduler so that it can communicate with the server. The default sequence directory allows the user to change the default location in which the calendar will browse for your sequence files when you use the Add to Playlist button. Click on the dotted Browse icon to the right of the input box. You can navigate and select the new default location of your choice. The playback server is described in the video Programs and Folders. Remember, this program is running as a Windows service. Unless you are running a service on a different machine, there is no need to change the playback server. This field is used to identify the machine that is running the LightShow server service. This default setting is the local host. You can change the server location by selecting the IP address from the drop-down or by keying in an IP address if your server is running on a machine outside of your network. Buffered server port and streaming server port do not need to be changed unless you are having a conflict with the ports shown here. You can change them to whatever you want, but the server ports in the next configuration screen must match the ones that you select here. Be sure that you press the OK button to save any changes that you have made. Okay, now let's look at the server configuration. The server name and description are informative only messages. These are not changeable. The server name corresponds with the name of the computer in which the LSP service is running on. Like the Configure Settings menu, buffered server port and streamer server port normally will only need to be changed if you are having conflicting issues with other software. If you do change them, again you will need to place the same port settings in the Client Configurations menu. Ensure you close Scheduler, stop, and then restart the LightShow Pro service, and then restart the scheduler. If you are utilizing video output in your shows, you can inform the server what video monitor to use by choosing the video screen number from the drop-down list. The monitor numbers are relative to 0, so if you are using the first video monitor, the video you would select is 0. If you are using a second monitor for the video output, you would select 1 in the drop-down, and so on. If you are using video, make sure that the LightShow Pro Helper program is running as a process. The show address field is used by the system to determine the sunset time for your location. If you check the Use Sunset option when you build your show, and your show is a recurring one, the start and stop times for each day in the recurrence will be adjusted based on the sunset time calculated for your address. Complete this field by adding your city and state shown here. Clicking on the Convert button will automatically generate a coordinate location for your address. This will enable LSP to determine an accurate sunset time based on those coordinates. The next option is a Twitter pin input field with a button to the right labelled Get Pin. This option allows LSP to integrate with Twitter. To enable this integration, you will first need to authorize LSP to access your Twitter feed. Selecting the Get Pin button will load up an internet window seeking such authorization. Once you have accepted the dialog box that comes up, you'll be given a multiple digit code which is unique for LSP and your Twitter account. Select these numbers by either highlighting and copying or by writing them down for entry into the Twitter pin input field. Paste or enter the details into the Twitter pin field and press OK. Authorizing LSP to use Twitter will automatically tweet at the commencement and end of your shows, along with what sequences are currently playing throughout your show. Again, once you have made your changes, be sure to press the OK button or the changes you made will not be saved. Thanks for watching, and be sure to view the other videos in the LSP Scheduler series.